funny, isn't it, with Meghan Markle? They always want to wave a banner, the sort of thing where they were suddenly just surreptitiously snapped when they were giving out parcels during the pandemic. And whenever they donate something, that is exactly what you're told to promote, to write in your piece, the gushing piece that they've normally picked, of course, the reporter just to do that. So it's fascinating with this because what's happened to Meghan's missing money? As ever, let me explain. Morning, good to see you. We're in the London Underground again. Well, I wait, of course, for another endless train. I don't know if I mentioned this previously, but we've got another London tube strike. Apparently, when Sadiq Khan, the Mayor of London, was put together and given the opportunity to be the Mayor of London, he said there'll be no strikes under my watch. There's been more strikes under him than ever before in the history of the London Underground. Fascinating, isn't it? How they tell you one thing and then, of course, another comes forward. It's a little bit like, of course, Meghan and Harry. Let me explain. You see, the bottom line is, as we saw recently, Meghan Markle rocked up at the charity event in that now famous Carolina Herrera red dress, and that was all the speculation. Then a former chum of hers, Lizzie Cundy, a socialite and TV presenter, who was also at the same award event, basically said that Hollywood had finished with Meghan, and when people were asking her for selfies and snaps, she looked like she'd been caught chewing a wasp. Apparently she wasn't particularly friendly, only to, and as ever we have to say allegedly, the people that mattered, garnering all, of course, those bulbs and red flashes and everything like that on the red carpet. Now, why did she have to leave? Why didn't she stay for the event? All of that sort of thing is still out there in speculation. The only thing we know, of course, is that Meghan managed to make it all about herself, and as I pointed out in a previous video, spoke about how some of her former chums were also associated with that particular charity and hospital, and that she'd been in contact with them. And chums, of course, that apparently she didn't invite to a wedding, but they're such good friends. Now they're all mums. You see, very confusing. But the bottom line was about this charity, it's all about raising money. There were many A-listers there from Hollywood, and a lot of people paid a lot of money to sit at those tables. It's the sort of thing that the rich and famous do because it makes them feel good, and more importantly, they get some well much needed publicity. It's kind of like buying your slot on the red carpet, and I mean that nicely. But you see, the other side of it is the CEO couldn't wait to be pictured with the former fake royal. And what was fascinating here is the fact that, everybody else, he kind of gushed about the support and all that sort of stuff. Now, we could be doing a sort of disservice to Meghan Markle. Maybe she donated privately. But given the fact that she always wants to make sure it's out there in the public domain what she, with Harry's money, one might suggest, has donated to all sorts of relief funds, charities, charitable events that they're associated with the Archwell Foundation, well, why haven't they? So we checked in with the children's charity and they said naturally they couldn't really report individual cases. I said, was it a good night? Absolutely. Were all the big spenders there and did they all donate? Oh, well, yes, they thought. Whichever way you look at it, though, it does seem a little bit odd that in this particular instance, Meghan, who was so keen to get up there on that red carpet and, of course, speak to reporters, even if she didn't stay too long, according to a former friend, well, don't you think it seems a little bit strange that she doesn't want to announce to the world, as they previously have done, exactly what they've given, how these people have benefited, and more importantly, shared it with the rest of the world? Seems a little bit strange to me. Either way, I'm sure all goodwill was intended. Don't you? Neil Sean in the very heart of London.